Macca's Guides.
Hey, what's up guys, Mac here, playing Rare Replay. This is the They Came From Outer Space achievement guide for getting all 5 of the Jetpac Snapshots in Rare Replay. Now, I'm only going to be covering the snapshots in this game, kind of based on how popular this video is, how many people feel like they actually do need help with some of these snapshots. I'll kind of go from there and decide if I'm going to make more videos about snapshots in specific. Now, you're going to select Jetpac, you're going to go to the snapshots menu, and there's a total of 5 snapshots for all of the games that have snapshots in them, and they usually increase in difficulty, number 1 being the easiest, and number 5 usually being the hardest, but not always, because sometimes there's some easy tricks that will make them really easy for the general public. For the first snapshot, all you're going to need to do is kill at least 20 enemies in 30 seconds. You should be easily able to get like 25. You actually only need to get 10, so you can even double what your requirement is without much of a problem. If you get up to 10 and then die, it'll still count. So number 1, very, very easy. Just hold A in order to shoot nonstop, and then move your character around in order to actually kill the enemies and dodge the enemies as well. Now for this one, we're going to need to get a total of 3 fuel cells into our ship as fast as possible. And this one is all about just surviving, making sure you pick up the fuel cells. You can deliver them directly to the ship as you see me doing, which is a little bit faster. But if you fly directly over the ship, it'll fall into the ship and it'll just take longer, but you don't actually have to deliver it straight to the ship. You can kind of just hover over the ship and the fuel will fall into it. For this last one, we have 1 minute to put together a ship and then fuel it and blast off. So as you can see here with the first piece, I actually let the piece fall down, and you'll see me do that with a lot of the fuel as well. Now you can take as long as you need. I think you have at least a minute, and you shouldn't need more than that as long as you're not being very slow or overly cautious. Again, I am holding A, which is to fire non-stop. I'm never not firing. It's basically, there's no good reason to not be firing. You might as well be firing and killing enemies when you're near them. So all you're going to be doing is kind of waiting for fuel cells to spawn on these platforms, picking them up, delivering them to the ship, and then you're going to want to blast off eventually. This one's not too bad as well, and again, if you do it in under a minute, you're fine. As soon as the ship fuels up and turns fully purple, just make sure you're there and blast off. Now the fourth one, you're going to need to do 5 roundabouts, I believe they're called, wraparounds, and you're going to basically need to go from one side of the screen through the screen and then come out on the other side. You only need to do this 5 times. It'll take you literally 10 to 15 seconds if you're going fast. The only thing you're going to need to watch out for is spawning enemies, so make sure you're always shooting and always cross the screen at the point in where you're shooting so that you don't fly into an enemy on the other side. I did that one in 13 seconds. The leaderboard for that one is broken, unfortunately. Snapshot number 5, the hardest, but also it can be quite easy as long as you're very cautious and you take your time. This one, you're going to need to fuel up your ship without using your gun. Your gun has been disabled, so you have to just use your movement without actually shooting any of the enemies. And what I recommend for this one is just try to stay away from enemies as much as you can in general. As you see, I'm sitting in the middle of the screen, and there's no enemies coming towards me, so I'm not really going to move. The less you move, the less likely you are to hit an enemy. And if you do move, just make small movements into an area where there's no enemies. So as you can see, I'm not really even dodging enemies. I'm just kind of sitting and waiting until I'm about to be hit. If I feel like I'm going to be hit, then I dodge. But don't feel like you always have to be moving unless you're about to be hit. Eventually, when you fill up the ship with, I believe, 5 total fuel cells, you'll be able to power it up and then take it, ride it, blast off, and it will complete the timer as well as the snapshot, which will unlock the achievement for completing all 5 of them. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe if this video was helpful and you want to see more snapshot guides in the future, and hopefully I see you there. Peace!